Hello, guys.
Hi, guys. Welcome to the FireButton Podcast number 6. It's cold outside. It's wintry. We're waiting for Christmas. You want to hear some nerds ramble on about games.
That's Jay.
I'm Jay.
I'm Harry.
I'm Merk.
I'm Spyke.
Yep, and we are without Father today.
We swapped him.
Responsibility.
Where's unsupervised?
Oh yeah. So,
What have we been playing?
what have we been playing?
What have we been playing? Suppose I ought to sort of... Yeah, I've been playing Castlevania. Tons of Castlevania.
Lots of
Lots of Castlevania. Actually, I was playing lots of Ghosts and Goblins for the Halloween period, and I just haven't stopped playing Spooky. I'm on Castlevania right now. I've recently had to complete Symphony of the Night twice. I did the Xbox 360 version and it's got the wrong ending song, so I did what any decent human being would do. Booted out the PS1 version and thought, yes, play it again to hear the proper ending song, damn it. Because I'm sane.
YouTube's just not a thing to FireButton.
Shut up. There is only one YouTube channel, and that is FireButton.
The thing is, though, when you complete the game and you get the ending music, it's not the same if it's not there, and it's not the same if you look it up on YouTube. You've got to have it, it's the reward for finishing the game.
It's got to feel like the thing you've just done. The good thing.
The good thing.
The good thing.
Go on, Spyro, what have you been playing?
I've been playing a lot of Far Cry 4. It just recently came out, and I liked Far Cry 3. I also loved Far Cry 1. Far Cry 2 I wasn't so hot on, but that was just because of this whole malaria factor that you've got in that. Because you're in Africa, you have to routinely inject yourself with an anti-venom of some kind, otherwise you start getting really slow, lethargic, and then eventually die. Which was just basically having a terminal illness the game while having guns. It was really...
But this new one's not like that.
Depressing. No, the new one, Far Cry 4, it's you're actually in the Tibetan mountains. You've got lots of animal hunting, like rhinos and tigers and things, and you basically go there to scatter your mother's ashes and somehow get sucked into some sort of semi-civil war. And it's just massively tongue-in-cheek humour, lots of good jokes and lots of good fun.
What is it? It's just a game about hunting and getting dragged into shit.
Well, the actual gameplay, you're actually in the middle of a civil war, and it's just quite... back and forth, blow up bases, take down compounds, things like that. Hunting is completely optional. It is just a fun kind of side quest. That and the fact it's a lot of tongue-in-cheek references to movies, films, and previous Far Cry games. One of my favourites being, in one of the last games, one of the most overused sentences by the enemies was, "I should have put on a rubber, now my piss burns." And in this one, you actually have a mission where you actually have to deliver condoms by massive convoy, and someone actually makes a joke about that joke. So they actually reference themselves in games. It's quite funny and quite clever how they've done it.
Fair enough.
With that, I'll take the bridge. Stole your sentence. Studio 3 recently got reopened because I got a new PC.
Hey!
Hey! Finally something that's not a Wii U. With that new PC comes the potential for editing and also the mass procrastination that is Steam sales. Oh my god.
He's been peddling all our Steam libraries.
Yeah, I've only just really got into PC gaming, and after discovering shit like Surgeon Simulator and Papers, Please and all the old games that I used to love on old consoles, I've just been playing all of the PC games.
What's that? Let's try that. Okay.
Pretty much, yeah.
Every single PC game ever.
Well, that's only £1. Go on then. But Surgeon Simulator has been one of the biggest ones for me, and I can't lie. I've been achievement hunting.
Filthy.
There's just something about taking out everybody's organs and replacing their heart with a radio.
That's an achievement.
That is an achievement. The achievement is
okay.
called The Beat of Your Heart.
Oh, song reference.
Yeah, there's
Ow.
all sorts. And I've just been absolutely playing the shit out of PC games.
Cool. I mean, that's the thing about the Steam sales. I think the next big one is going to be the proper Christmas sale. You just sort of scroll through, have a look at my wish list. I've got £2, just over £2 in my Steam wallet, and from trading card sales. Woo! But
I don't even get that.
yeah, it's pointless. But I just go through my wish list and look for anything that's like £1 or £2. I haven't played about, I don't know, 50 of my Steam games, and I really should before buying any, but...
I have, like, played 2 of my Steam games, and that's not on my laptop. But I tell you what I have been playing on my laptop. Not on my laptop, actually. I've finally played Little Big Adventure, the first one. Now, you've probably heard me talk about Little Big Adventure 2. I love that. That's like my childhood game. And I always wanted to play Little Big Adventure 1. And I tried years ago, and I just thought, oh, this is so hard and clunky. But I finally decided to beat it, and I stuck with it. And, oh man, I'm finally glad to have finished. Because seriously, how did this shit get a sequel? Ooh. Seriously, it's all clunky. Everything is... Are you familiar with the trope? What is it? Guide Dang It. Oh, Guide Dang It. And seriously, it's like... You've got these markers you've got to get to, like, the other side of the world to save the world or something. And you're one of them. You can't really... It's one of those games where you have to do things in a specific order, otherwise you can't progress, even if you know what you need to do next. And... You get to this marker, and you're like, what do you do? What do you do? No, no one tells you, you get stuck. And eventually you've got to look up a guide or something just to progress, and it's like, oh, you need to tip the water on it that you got in the vial. Well, thank you for telling me that! The game didn't. In all the dialogue, in all the game, no one mentioned anything about that, and that happens so frequently in that game, but seriously, how did that shit get a sequel? But I'm so glad it did, because Little Big Adventure 2 kind of gets rid of all that, and it's way more smooth, and
Okay, I gotta say 2 things for the audience. If you don't live on TV tropes, some people call them tropes.
That's wrong.
Tropes, because
tropes French.
Yes. Because that. Anyway, the Guide Dang It trope is basically for you playing a game and there's something you have to do, and the clues you're given are so sparse and so non-obvious that you have to consult the guide to figure it out. Right? That's Guide Dang It.
Basically
the entirety of Castlevania 2 is Guide Dang It, because none of the towns are named, and you told you need this from that town. It's like, what? They haven't got names.
So,
and if it weren't for the amazing first one, yes, Castlevania 2 would have been, how did this shit get a sequel?
Yeah, so that brings us up onto the topic.
That is kind of a trope of my own.
Yeah, this is for you guys. Okay, so what games, you bad, terrible games that make you wonder, how did this shit ever get a sequel?
Well, I come up with a phrase just yelling, how did this shit get a sequel, playing the first Devil May Cry. Not my nomination, though. If you're sort of playing a game and it's... you're late to the party, there's a big series, and you think, I'm going to start at the first one. And it's utter fucking shit. How did this shit get a sequel? Right, my game is Metroid. The original Metroid. I gotta say, Metroid 2, Super Metroid, Metroid Fusion, Metroid Zero Mission, Metroid Prime. It's one of my favourite series. It's great.
I'm gonna say, I thought you loved the Metroid series.
The first one is utter bollocks. You don't get a map. You can't even shoot very far, because the first thing you got to do is get a long shot. So, you fire like literally a fucking couple of centimetres in front of your character.
That reminds me of a Big Adventure as well.
There were no clues to anything, not even destructible walls, so you end up, when you finally get the bomb, being able to, you end up bombing everything. And there's no save game on the cartridge version that the rest of the world, not Japan, got. Whenever you continue or put your password in, you start off with the same, 29 energy, and the rest of your energy tanks, whatever you've completed, empty whenever you restart the game. So you basically got to go into an enemy-filled area and grind, killing enemies to get energy to fill your tanks up before you can even bother with the rest of the game anytime you continue. The original Metroid is rubbish, and I'm wondering how the fuck people ever thought, hey, this is great, let's make another one. But I'm glad they did, because the rest of the Metroid series has pretty much been great.
I just got a rant while it's on my mind. Little Big Adventure. Okay, if Twinter gets shot, he does this big recoil animation, and half of the enemies shoot so fast that they don't wait for you to get out of your recoil animation to move or attack back. So they'll just keep shooting you and Twinson's just stuck forevermore, dying. Sorry, carry on. What about you guys?
Well, on the subject of really liking a later game in the series and fucking hating the first one, I recently got hands-on with Street Fighter 1.
How did that shit get a sequel?
Oh my fucking god. Fair enough, it was a relatively early one, but the special moves don't fucking work. If they do, it's completely by accident. The hit detection feels really fucking weird. The movement's really choppy. Just everything about the game seems like it's only just managing to work.
It's really stiff as well, isn't it?
It's really stiff. The special moves are done completely differently. And, it's... the first Street Fighter was going to be my nomination, but I thought, on the podcast, we've done 5 podcasts before this one, and I've mentioned Street Fighter no less than 800 times. No, I'm doing Metroid for my How Did This Shit Get a Sequel?
And then Mike does it.
I am a shameless prick, because you may or may not have noticed, whenever Jay doesn't mention Street Fighter, I do.
Hey!
We fighting buddies.
What about you then, Harry?
I've done mine. I will rant again if you like.
No, it's alright, if that's yours.
No. God dang it.
You were lost in the anger.
So many times that enemies would shoot you and you just die because they would just keep you trapped. And, oh man, it's just... Oh.
Well, mine's, it's a little of a loose association, but it's the Aliens franchise. So it's all in the same franchise, I suppose. It's the Alien Colonial Marines. That game was so unbelievably bad.
It was broken.
It was broken right from the offset. I mean, one of my favourite videos on the internet, although I can't remember who posted it, was just a guy running up and down towards an alien that's hanging off the ceiling. And he's kind of jabbing at it and he shoots at it a bit. It's obviously sat there on the ceiling. And you're shooting at it, you shine your light at it, you can hit it a couple of times, and it just doesn't move. That's not an alien. That's a toadstool. And the game, the characters were transparent, the graphics were okay, I guess, the premise was bad, the fact there was 9,000 fucking aliens, how many queens, specialist aliens, that rhino thing at the very beginning, they just felt bad, rushed and put together. They just slapped Ridley Scott's name on it to try and get some, ooh, look, alien nerds to try and run all over it.
Ridley Scott.
Ridley Scott, beg your pardon.
So, even though it's based on Aliens, the one directed by James Cameron, it's got Ridley Scott... What?
Apparently they had Ridley Scott. It is Ridley Scott, isn't it?
Yeah, yes.
Ridley Scott okayed the game to use the original storyline. The original storyline for Colonial Marines was the Marines go back to Hadley's Hope after the reactor explosion. And they're looking through the area, seeing what happened, and then discover, oh my god, look, the reactor explosion that totaled the entire planet hasn't killed off the aliens. Surprise, surprise, there's now 9,000 of them, despite the fact they've had nothing to reproduce with. Loopholes all the way through the game. But... on the flip side of the thing, and I know it's not a direct sequel, so don't quote me directly, but the Aliens Isolation game. It's just recently come out, and I know myself and Steve have spent so much time on this game. For the 90% of the way through the game, although no particular spoilers, it's just one particular alien chasing you down, although you do have to come across humans and androids as well. And it's right back to the first Alien film. It's tense, it's beautifully designed, the music is very good, the lighting is excellent, it's just a fantastic horror game. And after the first Colonial Marines, when I heard they were doing Alien Isolations, because I keep my ears open for these things, my first reaction was, oh, for the love of God, please don't make it anything like Colonial Marines. And we got to the game with a little bit of trepidation, and then when I put it in the machine, that first time it jump scared me, I was sold for life.
So that shit got a sequel, but you're glad that it did.
Yes.
Well, you're basically, how did this shit get a prequel? Because
yeah, how did this shit get a prequel?
Because based on the film that came before it.
Well, yeah, exactly. It was, Colonial Marines came from, the second Aliens film, where Aliens Isolation is...
It's straight after the first one. It's
set right after the first one, before the second one. So yes, in fact. But if you're going to go right back to prequels, then you're going to have to move on to some fantastic memories that we used to have well back before.
Right, okay, yes. So, memories. Speaking of memories, the PlayStation recently turned, is it 20?
Something
20 years old. Jesus Christ, that thing, 1 year it can go and have all the sex and alcohol in America, It's almost there. And, first... really good PlayStation 1 memories. Yours is Aliens, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Right back to Aliens. anyone that played the PlayStation, even if you got the demo on one of the Demo 1 discs, Alien Trilogy was back then the most terrifying thing in my existence. I had nightmares. That was the first video game that gave me nightmares. Just that first door opening, and then all of a sudden you've got the drop, the wet dripping noise, you've got the bloop bloop on the scanner. You
the
can hear
bloody facehuggers!
the facehuggers that crawl up the screen, the alien in the background, just firing off pistol shots, nothing happening, acid blood. That game was terrifying, and it was still the best memory I have of PlayStation 1 video games.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I actually I played the PlayStation 1 pretty much in a computer shop when it was launched.
Whoa. You are old.
Yeah, I know. And so my first one, there's a display pod, and they've got Tekken, the original Tekken on.
Oh, wow.
Well, all we'd played up to then was like Street Fighter 2, Mortal Kombat 2 and 3. The same arcade shop, same computer shop had an arcade machine of Primal Rage, which was stop-motion dinosaurs. Bit shit, but stop-motion dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs?
Yeah. But, they had Tekken, and, just saying this 3D stuff, it played like utter arse, it's slow. What are the special moves? But, some showboating bastard, points to self. Basically, I picked a character, Michelle, and I committed myself to learning the 10-hit combo, just to look good in this computer shop in front of my friends. So that was it. Nobody else is picking up Tekken because it's not Street Fighter, it's not Mortal Kombat. I pick it up and I'm like, hey, look, 10-hit combo, blah, 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 blah. And that's it. That's my PS1 memory. I was a Sega Saturn boy, but, after that, but I do love the PS1, and yeah.
Sega Saturn for life, bros. Also, Spyke, fuck you, I played Alien Trilogy on Saturn.
This is PlayStation 1, damn it. Leave the Saturn out of this.
It's not Saturn's birthday.
The Saturn's 20th birthday was about a month before the PS1's, but, none of our listeners are going to care about that. It's just me and Mike in the world.
The whole world.
I'll stop being a dick now and I'll get back on topic.
Alright, so what's your earliest or best PS1 memory?
I honestly can't remember my earliest, but I do know my best. And it's a good job that Steve's not on this podcast, because I fear he may be trying to kiss me for this. But my best PS1 memory was playing Resident Evil 2 with my sister.
Cool.
We sort of we're both little kids. It's my dad's console. We're not supposed to be playing it. It's a scary game, so, we're nicking it to play it at bedtime. And, both playing through it, and it was the type of thing where I was the one that always played the games, so I've got the controller, and she's telling me what to do and all this. And there's one particular moment where you go into an interrogation room, and there's a two-way mirror, and you've got the side that's the reflection. There's a key on the bookcase, you go to grab it, and when you turn around, a licker busts through the mirror. Now, at that point...
So that's Resident Evil 2 then?
Yeah, yes. Resident Evil 2. And at that point, my sister squealed, and I dropped the controller, because I'm 10. I'm a pussy at 10. I dropped the controller and jumped away from the TV onto the bed. My sister's squealing. My dad walks in. He goes, "What the fuck are you two doing on that? You've unplugged the PlayStation, you've nicked my disc." We got grounded for a week, and it was fucking hilarious looking back at it.
Was it worth it?
It was.
Yeah.
We nicked it again and completed the rest of the game.
Yes, that's what we like. Purism.
Alright, so I guess we should talk about my earliest, which is also, I guess, kind of my best. Now, for those of you who can't see, I am sat here doing the podcast in my Spyro the Dragon onesie.
More on that later.
But,
Coming soon.
I remember way back when, this was before I had my own PlayStation, seeing the adverts for Spyro the Dragon on TV, and I was a big dragon nut, I love dragons, and I saw this thing and I thought, oh, what is that? I must have that. And, the first time I got to play on a PlayStation was around at a friend's house, because we weren't posh enough to have games consoles, and they had Spyro, and I played it, and I fell in love with it, and I just wanted it so bad. And for so long, I would say to my mum and dad, "Oh, I really want a PlayStation. I really want to play Spyro the Dragon." And one day for Christmas, I got a PlayStation, and it wasn't Spyro 1, it was Spyro 2, but I didn't care. It was Spyro, it was a dragon, and that is probably my most completed game ever. That's just, for the longest time before I discovered R-Type, that was my favourite game in the world ever. I know it back to front. I have literally played it to death, and Yeah, I fucking love Spyro.
It's really strange you should mention that because my mum never really plays any video games at all. She's never played any video games except for Spyro. And I shit you not, she could chase down an egg thief, she could beat any speedway challenge, she found every fucking gem in every fucking level, unlocked every damn dragon, and I'm terrified because if my mum was an achievement hunter, she'd have more gamer points than
I
me.
bet I could give your mum a run.
Yeah,
for our
yeah,
money.
that's a FireButton video in the future.
Because me and Jay went to the same university, and we shared a house with like some other friends for a while.
Yeah.
And our friend Zoe, she was going through Spyro at the time, and she needed some help. So I remember Jay as well. Upon when our friend completed Spyro, Jay was like really impressed that she completed it. Then I was like, bitch, I completed that for her because she couldn't do it.
I didn't know that though. I thought that our friend played it. I didn't know.
She was stuck on treetops at the big long sort of speedways where you got to go throughout the whole sort of level, getting the right trajectory to get to the final dragon.
That's
stage.
actually kind of fun to do.
It is fun. It's like rage worthy but fun. But
Just to wrap up succinctly, I suppose, with the whole PlayStation 1 games, it's really difficult to pick because we've picked our favourite memories. But there are...
I haven't picked my favourite, I just picked my first one. I mean, my favourite memory is probably going to be the Wipeout series.
Oh!
Yes, see, it's a memory that spans like 3.5 if you
see, I discovered that when I was like
Special
23.
Edition 3. It's like 3.5 games. But the soundtrack, the handling, the weapons, the way it looked, to me, PlayStation 1 games, it's Wipeout. It's the Wipeout series. I fucking live for that shit.
We've got like lists of them. I mean, just off the top of my head, some of the ones I died over and must play again at some point are things like you've got Spyro, you've got Crash Bandicoot, you've got the Road Rash series, was one of my all-time favourite games. Then you've got things like Colony Wars, you've got Wipeout.
Don't forget your Pandemonium.
Croc.
Cock.
Cock.
You
played Cock on the PlayStation?
Yeah.
Throw to a Wii remote.
Abe's Odyssey and Oddworld.
Abe's
Yes.
Odyssey, the Wii.
I feel like
Little
such a
Big
dick.
Adventure 1!
Anything Ridge Racer, you got Ridge Racer Revolution, Rage Racer, lives up to its
MDK.
name, and
Army Men.
R4. Army Men.
I love the Army Men.
Hogs
series.
of War.
Hogs of War, the British Hogs.
That was like Worms in 3D, and Worms
Worms,
recently,
you can't
Yeah.
We could literally go on for days talking about all the best games
There's
from
a
our
lot of
childhood.
love for the PlayStation. I didn't really care much about consoles, but the first one and only one I cared about for a long time was the PlayStation. So
I've got to say that I do feel like a bellend though, because like a lot of the games that you guys just mentioned that weren't exclusives, I played them all on the Saturn.
well, I did back in the day, but it's. We're celebrating the PS1 here because sadly no one gives a shit about the Saturn. And with that, I think we'll wrap up. So, yeah, it's been good.
well, I never had a Saturn.
We're
All
wrapping
right.
up for Christmas.
Yes, we're wrapping up like a good present. Speaking of presents, you guys, listeners, you mean so much to us. If you want us to cover anything on podcast, or if you got any idea for a video,
Yeah, drop us a line. We're on
in the
Facebook
comments or
on YouTube
messages.
in the comments.
Yeah.
Anything at all. Any way you can get in contact, let us know and we'll do whatever we can.
All of the ways that you can contact us are in the description, so you'll get an easy shortcut to wherever you want to leave us a message.
You could try smoke signals as well, but there's no guarantee that will get through.
We accept carrier pigeon.
And with that, bye.
Bye.
Bye.